Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a viewer. Amy plays a Flash and puts into play a Thermopod. Can she use Thermopod's ability to sacrifice some of her creatures for mana to help keep the Thermopod in play? Okay, so if you've been a fan of this channel for a while now, you might have already been thinking about the one major obstacle that this trick would need to overcome. The steps of Flash are performed in order, so the Thermopod is definitely in play before the game asks you to pay the mana. The problem is that you don't have priority. See, players can't just cast a spell whenever they want. You need to have priority to do that, and players do not get priority in the middle of another spell resolving. You have to wait until after all of its steps have been completed. This means, for example, you could not cast a Pyretic Ritual after you put the Thermopod into play with Flash to get mana to help keep it around. You would need to preemptively play the Pyretic Ritual and then float the mana. Most activated abilities work the same way, but not all of them. See, if you wanted to tap a mountain for mana to help pay off that Thermopod, that certainly would work. And that's because the mountain's activated ability is a mana ability. You don't need priority to activate those. You can do it anytime something in the game is asking for a mana payment. Thermopod's sacrifice a creature ability is also a mana ability, and so you can indeed do that to help pay to keep it around. Now, that works, but here's a couple of things to be careful of. First, let's take a look at this Beastcaller Savant. It has haste, and its ability is a mana ability, so it would be possible to put this creature into play with Flash and activate it before you have to sacrifice. Unfortunately, you can only use that mana to cast creature spells, which buying out of a Flash is not. It would still be possible to float this mana and use it to cast a future creature spell, though, so at least there's that. Now here's another one. Let's take a look at this Priest of Urabrask. Could you use mana from its ability to keep it in play? Unfortunately, no. This is a little bit different from the previous examples because this is a triggered ability. Now, some triggered abilities are mana abilities. For example, if you put this Nirkana Revenant in, then you would only need to tap 2 swamps to keep it in play because its triggered ability is a mana ability, which means it does not use the stack. You just get the mana right away. In contrast, Priest of Urabrask's triggered ability does not fit the criteria to be considered a mana ability. I talked about this in depth in my video about Crime Novelist and Tishana's Tidebinder, but for now, let's just take this fact for granted. So what would officially happen in that case would be that you put the Priest of Urabrask into play, then its ability triggers, then the Flash asks for you to pay 1 red mana, and if you don't, you have to sacrifice Priest of Urabrask. And then Flash will be put into your graveyard, and after all of that, the Priest of Urabrask's ability will get put on the stack, at which point players would be able to respond to it. Only when that ability resolves would you actually get the 3 red. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again next time for another daily ruling. Until then, I hope you have a great day.